Welcome back to Stay Healthy Knoxville podcast. I'm Dr. John Mark Chesney, physical therapist and owner of Simply Physio here in Knoxville, Tennessee. We help people stay active, healthy, and doing things they love. And I'm super excited about having our guest on today. We have Don Mather. He is owner of Fit Body Boot Camp here in Farragut. Don has a really interesting story that spans nearly 5 decades in fitness, bodybuilding, nutrition, and business, and now helping people improve their health and longevity through movement and exercise. After retiring from a long career with Lazy Boy, he and his daughter Nina opened up Fit Body Boot Camp here in Farragut with a mission to help people regain their health, energy, and vitality. Don, thanks so much for joining us today.
I appreciate you having me, John Mark. Glad to
Well,
be here.
Well, awesome. Well, I know, as we talked as preparing for the podcast here, you gave me a little bit of your backstory, and it sounded like it started back in the 70s with your own personal endeavor with bodybuilding. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. So tell us
That's
a little bit about how that got started, with your interest in fitness and bodybuilding.
okay. Well, I was in college at the time, just hanging out at one of my friend's apartments, just sitting around one night, and I noticed that he had put on some weight. And I asked him, I said, Steve, what are you doing, man? You look like you're gaining weight. And he said, well, I quit smoking cigarettes and I started doing pump ups, which was really isometric type exercises.
Okay.
And I was like, man, if that worked for you, that can work for me. Because I was a real skinny guy, 6'4", 150 pounds,
Oh, wow.
and did not like it. I always was. I didn't care if I was fat. I just wanted to be bigger.
Yep.
And so I quit smoking just like Steve did, started eating like crazy, and then started putting on weight. Some of it wasn't weight that I really wanted. I did a lot of reading comic books when I was a kid, and I always thought that everybody should look like a comic book character, a
Yeah.
superhero, you know, and I wanted to look like that. So then I started working out. And back then there wasn't that many gyms, YMCA, and didn't have that much equipment, and so I started doing that. And then eventually got Steve to join me, and he became my workout partner for the next 10 years.
Nice.
And I had to learn a lot about nutrition because if you wanted to gain muscle, you didn't want to get fat at the same time. So you had to learn about protein, carbohydrates, and fats, and being in a calorie deficit versus being in a calorie overage,
Yep.
and that kind of stuff. So I had to learn a lot along the way to stay healthy and to hit the goals that I wanted to hit, which was to get bigger, more muscular, all that kind of stuff. And over time, that happened, and I started competing in amateur bodybuilding contests, Mr. South Carolina, Region 3 bodybuilding contests, different regional bodybuilding contests. And I really wanted to make fitness a career.
Hmm.
I was working at Lazy Boy at the time. I was a supervisor on the floor, and just fitness was my passion. But there was no place to work. There weren't that many. There was, like I said, there was only a YMCA in town
Yeah.
to work out at. Personal training was for Hollywood stars and rich people. There was no career path other than perhaps opening a gym. I didn't have the capital to do that. So one Sunday afternoon, my father says, you know, if you would put as much effort into Lazy Boy as you put into this crazy bodybuilding crap you're doing, you might have a great career. And so I actually listened to him, and I decided to quit trying to compete in bodybuilding. I didn't have the genetics for it. I was a skinny guy.
Hmm.
And there were guys that worked just as hard as me that started at a way better spot. And that wasn't in the cards for me genetically. And I understood that. So I put myself into Lazy Boy and my career there. And bodybuilding and weightlifting and physical fitness became just part of your lifestyle.
Yep.
It wasn't. no longer a career aspiration or anything. It was just your lifestyle.
Just your personal, yeah,
Yeah,
personal
your
part of you.
lifestyle.
Yep.
Because what bodybuilding did for me is it didn't just show me that I could set a goal. It showed me that I could do anything that I set my mind to.
Hmm.
Anything. Didn't matter what it was. Bodybuilding was the one thing. And if you can go from 150 pounds to 250 pounds, you can do anything.
Hmm.
And that attitude carried me very well into my career at Lazy Boy. And there were times where I couldn't work out as much. It was traveling, business dinners, all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, I always came back to fitness. You know, it was a part of my life. If I was feeling stressed out at work or whatever, go to the gym.
Yep.
That go to the gym, and that worked. And so fast forward to 6 years ago, 2022, I decided to retire from Lazy Boy. And when you retire, you get pretty reflective. I didn't know that at the time, but you do, of your life. And looking back on it, one of the things I was most thankful for was that I had found bodybuilding when I was 20. And I wasn't as thankful for how my body looked, which was what my goal was. I was thankful for the fitness it gave me and the health that I had at 65 years old that I would not have had otherwise.
Yep.
And also, that was during the COVID time. So during that period at Lazy Boy, I was working at Lazy Boy during COVID and all those shutdown procedures and all that stuff that we had, and cleaning up the factory after every shift and disinfecting and all that. And you looked at the people that got really sick, really had a hard time during COVID. Most of those people had other comorbidities that were lifestyle related, that they could have had a very different outcome if they had fitness as a part of their life.
Hmm.
And it was at that point I decided, well, what are you going to do with the rest of your life? I've spent 47 years helping people sit on their rear ends. Maybe it's time to get them off it, you know?
Yeah.
And so I decided I was going to open a gym. And I had friends that had business relationships with some CEOs that like workout anytime or 24-hour fitness and some of those.
Hmm.
I could have done that, but I didn't want to just provide access to equipment for people who knew what they were doing. I wanted to help people that just wanted to get more healthy in their life. Didn't necessarily want to stand on stage and rub oil all over themselves and glitter under the lights, but they
Right.
wanted to be healthy and fit and live a active life. And that's what I wanted to help people do. And that's
Yep.
why I decided, after looking around, decided on the type of workout for what I wanted to bring to people was Fit Body Boot Camp style of workout.
Yeah. That's awesome. Now,
Not the type of workout I did my whole life.
right. Now, most people, when they retire, it means they kind of slow down. Um, you kind of took a different approach, right? Instead of
Yes.
retiring, you decided to start a business. So maybe tell us a little bit of what maybe gave you the confidence, or that maybe not the confidence, but just the desire to not really retire, right? But to go about this pretty big venture.
Well, I guess because I did exercise my whole life, I could be a lot fitter at 71, but I am where I am. And I keep striving to get better, but I'm not ready to just sit down and watch life go by.
Yep.
I look at it like, almost like, there are people in life as you get older, your grandkids are out there playing ball or throwing the frisbee, they're doing whatever, and they'll say, Grandpa, Grandma, come out here and do this with me. Come out here. No, I'm just going to sit here and watch you guys. And you become an observer of life rather than a liver of life. And to me, part of living life is staying active and contributing to society, I guess, the greater whole.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
I wasn't ready to quit yet, but I wanted to do something that would be meaningful to people.
yeah. Now, having started kind of your fitness and bodybuilding, back in the 70s, have you seen maybe the fitness industry change? And it sounds like, especially when you decided to step into, the Fit Body Boot Camp, which we'll get into what that actually is here, later on the show. But how have you seen that kind of change over the years, and maybe, and what maybe good ways or any thoughts on that?
Well, in my mind, the way the body functions and moves doesn't change. That's always a given. What has changed the most in the fitness industry, in my mind, is in diet and nutrition in those aspects. When I was bodybuilding in the 70s, the supplements consisted of desiccated liver and brewer's yeast.
Okay.
You know, and now what do you have now? And look at today. You've got you've got entire industries and stores set up with nothing but fitness supplements.
Yeah.
Creatine, protein, branched chain amino acids, electrolytes, peptides, you name it. It's all out there now affecting health and fitness. And to me, that is the biggest change is what we know about nutrition, which is ironic because we know more about nutrition at the nutritional aspects of fitness than we ever have, and we're fatter than we've ever been.
Yeah. It is interesting, even with the nutritional side, just having, a few months ago, they came out with the new food pyramid, if you will,
Yes,
right? It's inverted. But even just in my lifetime, I'm 43. But how that's even changed. Like I remember when I was young, it was all about fat. Like avoid,
right,
look to see how much fat something's had. If it has a lot of fat, then avoid it, and just choose foods with no fat.
right.
Was
I
more.
went down that road myself.
And now, and then it got, more kind of, that base on the food pyramid was, your grains, right? It was kind of like, hey, should be the biggest one is your grains. And now, now it's that inverted pyramid with, the protein is really what is being advocated. But it is like to your point, there's been a huge kind of shift, if you will, and even just the basics of education on nutrition, right?
Yes, absolutely,
Um,
absolutely.
but hopefully we're on to a better a better understanding of that than we were
Right.
years ago.
There are essential fatty acids that you only get from fats. There are no essential carbohydrates.
Right. Um, so yeah, so it sounds like, fitness was an outlet for you for many years, like a
Yes,
healthy outlet
very
uh,
much so.
for you. And so you kind of mentioned that when you realized that you wanted to retire and to do something in the fitness realm, obviously you landed on Fit Body Boot Camp. But what things you mentioned just a little bit of you didn't want to just provide a gym space with equipment. Tell me kind of what was kind of behind that vision or that goal of yours.
Well, that the kind of gym that just provides access to equipment, that's my kind of gym.
Yeah,
Because I've been working out for 50 years. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm going to do. I
yeah,
don't need anybody to help me. Just just give me access and let me go. I'm
hmm
good. Not everybody's been working out 50 years.
yeah,
Some of them played baseball in high school and ain't done nothing for 40 years, 30 years, 20 years, you name it. They're in a different place. They need more help. They need more instruction. They need more guidance to make sure that they don't injure themselves and to make sure that they're doing it properly so that they can get the benefits for the time they're putting in.
yeah. Was there like maybe what was your thought process in maybe identifying that need, having been it wasn't necessarily your personal need because you had grown up like in that space? Was there a certain event or conversation that you had with, with people to kind of see that you needed to create something that wasn't necessarily for you, but for meeting a need of the community?
Um, yeah, it's kind of a circuitous way to get there. I was working with a guy that had a hip replacement,
Okay.
and he was just a regular guy, lived a normal life, they never worked out, just lived normally like most people do. And
Yeah.
fitness is not a part of their life. Well, he had a very hard time with his hip replacement. He was out of work for 6 weeks. He was he came back with a walker
Hmm.
and then graduated to crutches. And I'm like, and at that time I was struggling with my hip. And I'm like, I ain't doing that. I ain't, I can live with this pain. I'm just going to live with
Hmm.
it. And I did that till, and I did that and lived on cortisone shots, you know, until they lasted 2 weeks. And then
Yeah.
that was it. And then it
Yeah.
was, okay, now it's time to do something regardless of what's going on. So I did that. And I had the hip replacement. I used a walker in the hospital. I never used a walker, a crutch, or a cane at home, ever. I was walking to my mailbox 2 days later,
Yeah.
which was which was about a tenth of a mile from down the driveway,
Hmm.
and so I didn't experience what he did, but it was because I had fitness as part of my life the
Yeah.
whole time.
Yeah.
And and that knowledge, you can't give a guy like that access to a gym and expect him to be able to do anything with it because he doesn't know what to do.
Hmm.
So I wanted to be more instructional and more hands-on in helping people achieve a fitness level that they didn't think was even possible for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, and yeah, that's cool to hear. Thanks, for sharing that. Because, sometimes we can get, if you surround yourself with your community, which is probably guys you're working out at the gym with, you can get a distorted view of truly kind of what are just the public or general, like, I guess your perspective gets tainted, right? And so you can
Yes,
sometimes miss out on what you think most people understand because it's what you've always understood. Um, and you take that for
right.
granted, right? You can take that for granted. So kind of the same way as, being a physical therapist, I'm around physical therapists all the time, and so obviously I've had a degree of studying and
Right,
training that gives me a deep understanding of the human body, and you can almost forget that, hey, other people haven't invested years of their life studying the human body.
right.
And so you have to give them the benefit of the doubts that something that's simple to me or to you, like working out the gym, something that's very second nature, is intimidating.
Exactly,
Yep.
exactly. And they don't know they don't know even know where to begin. So
Right.
they need help,
Yep.
and we wanted to help people to get there.
And now I know that you also opened up with your daughter, with Nina,
Yes.
right? So maybe speak a little bit to how that was. How did she kind of enter in the picture? Like, was this whose idea really was it? Was it one of you, or was it kind of both of you guys teaming up? How did all that happen?
Well, let me back up a little bit.
Okay.
My father also worked for Lazy Boy.
Okay.
I worked for Lazy Boy. All three of my children at one point or another worked for Lazy Boy. My
Okay.
daughter was still working for Lazy Boy.
Okay.
And I learned a valuable lesson. Try as you might to make a publicly traded company a family business, you can't do it. So I decided, because fitness is a part of my life, it was kind of my decision to go into this.
Hmm.
But my daughter and I have been close our whole life.
Yeah.
We've been close, and I knew when I went into this, I wanted her to go into it with me.
Yeah.
She wasn't so sure at the time.
Hmm.
So I told her, I'm going to do this with or without you,
Okay.
and told her I already signed the license agreement.
Okay.
And then, so she came on board. She wasn't really quite sure at the time, but she knew if he's going to do this, I'm going to do it too. And I
Yeah.
was hoping that that would be the case.
Okay.
And so, yes, she was working in Arkansas at our plant in Arkansas at the time, and she moved to Tennessee and got into this with me. And I
Okay.
couldn't be happier. She loves this business.
That's
She has
awesome.
taken to it like nothing I've ever seen before.
Yeah.
She's made for this. She's made for this.
That's awesome. I mean, I'm sure there was some, being her father, kind of knowing your daughter, some intuition, if you will, right?
Right.
Um, but it's also, both of you guys are stepping into something new, so there's obviously some level of risk for both of you guys doing something like that
Absolutely.
too. And so yeah, so you started, I guess it was a little after COVID,
Little after COVID, we opened November of 2023.
2023. Okay, so a few years after, I guess things had settled down a little bit after
No, 2024.
24.
2024.
Okay. So yeah, just 2 years.
No, 23. You're right. It was
Okay, I was thinking you
23.
guys have been
We went through 24, 25, and now it's 2.5 years.
okay, 2.5 years. Okay, well, awesome. Well, yeah, what has it been like starting from the ground, from the ground up?
Well, from a personal standpoint, when I was at Lazy Boy, I was a vice president. So basically, I met and delegated for a living. That's not the case when you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
And I found that out.
yeah,
I have so
very
much
different.
respect for business owners. You are everything. There's nobody to delegate anything to. If it's going to get done, it's going to get you. It's going to be you. And it was quite eye-opening to all the little things that gets taken care of by different departments, your finance department, your HR department, this department, that department. Well, you're that department everywhere,
Right,
and it's
right.
all up to you. So yeah, it's been a little eye-opening and challenging, but it's been well worth
Awesome, awesome. And so, I guess your role versus Nina's role, how did you guys kind of work that out?
it. She runs it, and I provide the money. That
Oh,
that's kind of the way it's turned into. She really has taken to this business,
yeah.
and at this point I trust her instincts more than I trust my own.
Okay,
So
that's awesome.
so
Um,
I work for my daughter now.
okay. Well,
And by anyway, she's 45 and I'm 71. Who's got the longer shelf life?
that's right.
If she's going to be running it anyways, you might as well let her do it now.
Yep. Um, so kind of getting back to, we want to get into a little bit more about Fit Body Boot Camp for our listeners, who may be interested in what you guys provide, how it's maybe different from other options out there. But maybe before we get to that, why did you, like, it sounds like you did some background research, right?
Oh
And
yes.
and partnering up with a franchise. What was it that first interested you in signing, a lease agreement and a licensing agreement, with Fit Body Bootcamp?
Well, I guess what the thing that got me the most was, yeah, the workouts were good workouts, and you there's all kinds of workouts you can do that's good workouts, that's good for you, whatever. Fit Body's emphasis was on building a community of like-minded individuals that support one another in in fitness in other areas of their life. But it's more about building the community of like-minded people that have the similar interest in being healthy and staying active and living a vibrant life and supporting one another in doing that. It was the focus on the community and the family aspect of it that made me want to go with Fit Body more than any other.
Hmm. Yeah. And
Because
that's
we all
probably,
need support. We all
yeah, it's
need
such a huge
support.
piece. Yeah. And if you're really aiming for life fitness, it's something that you need to be able to continue doing through different seasons, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
and some seasons can be challenging in different ways, but when you have the support of a community, that's oftentimes what people need to kind of ride through those
That's
seasons.
exactly right. They support each other. It's going to get hard sometimes, and you've
Yeah,
got somebody helping, encouraging you, and helping push you, and then you do the same for them when they have to go through those kind of periods. That's what like Steve. He was my workout partner for 10 years. We did that
yeah,
all the time.
yeah,
He'd push me, I'd push him. I'd encourage him. He'd encourage me. It was just it made you go when you didn't even feel like it,
yeah,
and it was good for you. But
yeah.
that community and that support was so important.
Well, I think it's a good time to maybe talk a little bit more about Fit Body Boot Camp and how it's structured. What a session looks like. Answer some of those more practical questions for our listeners. Obviously you talked about there is some sort of community, involved, but what does that look like? But maybe tell us a little bit more kind of the basics of like, hey, if somebody's kind of like wondering, is like, hey, what is Fit Body Boot Camp?
Well, in some respects, the boot camp name is a little unfortunate because it brings up images of Paris Island and buds and SEAL training and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But if you think about what boot camp is, boot camp takes average young men and turns them into a fighting machine. And what we do, the name boot camp, is we take unhealthy, unfit people and change them into healthy, fit people.
Hmm.
We're not turning them into fighting machines and you ain't got to go carry telephone poles across your back and all that stuff. It just, you got to do a few things to get moving and to get healthy again.
Yep.
And so the name boot camp scares people off, has the potential to scare some folks off, but they
Right.
shouldn't let them. Uh, our sessions, one of the selling points of our sessions is that they're only 30 minutes long. So in today's world, everybody's so busy, finding time to fit in something good for yourself is sometimes difficult.
Yeah.
But being 30 minutes, if you can do that a couple, two, three times a week, you're good.
Yeah.
You're okay. Um,
Yep. Like I can scroll my phone for 30 minutes and it's like, dang, what happened to that 30 minutes? Like you can
right.
you can get a full workout in, right?
And get a whole workout in. And it's high intensity interval training. You're going to, because it's 30 minutes, if you're going to run a marathon, you're going to start out slow and keep the pace and keep going. If
Hmm.
you're running a 100-yard dash, you're all out from the get go.
Yep.
And that's kind of, I say that's kind of what HIIT training is you're going all out for a short period of time, taking a short break, then going all out, short break, all out, short break. And 30 minutes later, you're done.
Yep. So yeah, so the 30-minute sessions, um, how so it's, how do you accommodate different levels of fitness, right? Like, are there classes that are like beginners, and intermediate, advanced, or so somebody
No,
was a little bit uncertain about like, hey, can I do it?
uh, almost everybody that comes in here with has a concern of whether or not they can do
Yeah.
it, and almost 100% of the time they can
Hmm.
because we accommodate all fitness levels. Yes, this exercise is slated to work let's just say it's work your quads, your legs, your upper legs, and your knees hurt you, and you can't do that exercise the way it's designed to. We will give you a different exercise to do that maybe doesn't uh, inflame your knee or bother your knee or whatever it is, but that will also still work your quads, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
We work around the injuries and the limitations that people have, and if they can't do it the way it's designed to do, then we modify it for them so that they can do it and still get the benefits in the body part that they're trying to work.
Okay. And I believe it's small classes, right? A small class
Small
fitness
sessions. So they're small
sessions.
sessions.
Yeah.
Each session, we have two coaches on the floor. We've got one coach that's on the mic running the session, telling you when to work, when to stop, encouraging, that kind of thing. And we also have a floor coach on the floor. That one's sole job is to make sure that the client is doing the exercise properly, helping them to modify it if necessary because they can't do it the way it's designed to be done. And also, if they're using a weight that's too heavy, give them some lighter weight so that they can do it right. If
Yeah.
they're taking it too easy on themselves, give them a heavier weight and let them go. So we're adjusting, both challenging when need to be challenged and pulling them back when they need to be pulled back.
Sure. Okay. So if you're signing up for a class, are there different classes you sign up for, or are they kind of like you just show up and all
No,
the
we're not like a 24/7 just show up and get a workout. We
yeah,
we run sessions, so and we the coaches are working for us, so they're here too. And we in the mornings we have four 30-minute sessions in the mornings, and
okay.
then we have three 30-minute sessions in the afternoons. The ones in the morning it starts at 5:30, then 6:15, 7:45, and 8:45. And then we're closed in the afternoon because most people's working then. You don't get many people coming in and working out in the afternoons.
Yeah.
And then in the midday. And then at 4:15 we have a session, 5:15 we have a session, and 6 o'clock is our last session of the day.
Okay. Okay. And then all the sessions are more or less just the time, like they're boot camp fitness high intensity sessions, correct?
They're all the same.
All the same.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Um, every session will have the same workout that day. In fact, across the whole Fit Body franchise, the workout we're doing today, they're doing everywhere today.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Um, so
go ahead.
when you have a membership, is your membership just for that location? Somebody
Uh,
travels, maybe.
if they travel, all the Fit Body boot camps accommodate each other's members.
Okay. Um, and then so if people have like, do you guys incorporate diet type of stuff
Oh,
into
yes,
your plan?
absolutely.
And
Because
how is that done?
well, Fit Body has its own nutritional program and an app where you can track what you eat. You put in what you ate that day, and it'll tell you how many calories, grams of protein, grams of carbs, grams of fat you had. And ideally, you want to be in a calorie deficit. You want to make sure you get your protein first, and then you distribute the remaining calories between carbs and fats, and be in a calorie deficit. And then we do offer that nutritional app and nutritional coaching. And we
Okay.
also have a what we call an in-body scale, which measures body fat percentages, how much water weight you're carrying, how much muscle you have, and all that, which is important because as you start to work, as a lot of people start to work out, they might not see the scale move and they get disappointed.
Yeah.
When in fact, they've lost 5 pounds of fat and gained 5 pounds of muscle. They're healthier than they were before, but the scale hasn't moved for them. And
Yeah.
so in their mind, I'm not getting anywhere. Well, that's not true. You are doing exactly what you want to do. You're increasing your muscle mass and losing fat.
Yep. Um,
And so we provide guidance and help with all of that,
okay.
which is the NFL is full of very fit fat guys. And you can be fit and fat. If
Uh-huh.
you want to lose the weight, you're going to have to pay attention to your diet. No ifs, ands, or buts,
Yep.
period.
Yep.
But you can be very fit and still be overweight.
Yep.
NFL's full of them.
Well, is there a certain amount of sessions that you recommend people to attend? Um,
Well, once is better than none. Two's better than once. Three times is kind of a sweet spot
okay.
where you can get very good health benefits and fitness benefits out of 3 days per week. Maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday, skip every other day and take two
Hmm.
days off. You got to let your body recover too.
Yep.
Working out every day is not necessarily the best thing either. Your body has to have time to rest and recuperate and rebuild itself. And so to me is a sweet spot. If you want to improve, but there are people that want to be super fit. And so if you want to do that, then more days are going to be necessary if you want to take your fitness level to another level. But for most people to live a healthy, happy, active lifestyle, 3 days per week will probably get you there.
Okay. And then you mentioned as we were starting talking about Fit Body Boot Camp, the impact and the importance of community. Can you tell me how you've seen that play out, like in your studio?
Well, lots of different ways, actually. Support for one another. These people that didn't know each other when they came in here have now become very good friends and are supporting one another through some difficult times that have nothing to do with fitness
Hmm.
or somebody struggling with cancer. And the other members are coming around her trying to help her and what can they do for her? Those kind of things. And then we just did a mud run. That mud run that was over in Sweetwater last
Yeah.
weekend.
Okay.
35 of our members ran in that together,
Yeah.
you know,
Awesome.
and had a blast. Had a
Hmm.
blast.
Were you out there?
Oh yeah, I was.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't run, but I took pictures.
Okay. Um, well, nice. Well, I think anything else that we maybe missed about specifically about Fit Body Boot Camp kind of question, or maybe another good question is, let's say somebody is interested in starting out, how would someone get started?
They could. Well, we run ads on Facebook all the time, so you could answer one of those ads, or
Yeah.
you can just come in and we'll give you a free week just to try us out and see if this is convince yourself, number one, that you can do this.
Hmm.
And number two, there are people here that will help you and get you where you want to go. And just come in and get started.
Yep.
Just get started. You've got to break the inertia.
Yep.
And then everything starts rolling easier. You've got to get started. That's the hard part. Once you start, you can roll.
So you guys offer, you said a week trial, if you will, for somebody to
Yes.
test it out. Um, and then you guys are located in Farragut. I don't know where you're located, but just for our listeners who weren't sure, you mind, yeah, sharing kind of where you're located and easy way to find online as just fitbodybootcamp.com or something.
Well, you can find us on fitbodybootcamp.com. We're at,
Okay.
we're at, we're on Kingston Pike, 10951 Kingston Pike in Farragut, right next door to the Serguni's Family Fun Park, where the orange dinosaur out there.
Yeah. Okay.
If you don't
Can't
know
miss that
anything, you
guy.
know the orange dinosaur's on Kingston Pike.
Yeah.
And we're right next
Okay.
door to that in the Stonecrest Shopping Center.
Okay.
Great location.
Yeah. Well, I had just a few other questions here. One, I'd be interested in maybe a little slight change in topic, but being yourself, having stayed in fitness, for many decades, and now you said in your 70s, what do you what do you think people may misunderstand about aging? Any things that maybe they get hung up on or misunderstand?
Um,
Staying fit while aging.
one of the misconceptions is because cardio fitness is so much a big part of our society. A lot of people walk for health, people run, they bicycle, very much focus on cardio. But as you age, strength, if you listen to longevity experts,
Yeah.
Gary Brecka, some of these guys, they will tell you if for an older person, if you want to be healthy and live a long life, strength is the most important thing. More important than cardio fitness and all that. Because at 71 years old, I'm not running that much anymore unless I plan to for my own fitness, which I don't like running, so I would never plan that.
Yeah.
You know, but it's the strength that keeps older people going. It's the
Hmm.
strength that they have that when they get off balance and they're about to fall, they can catch themselves because they got the strength to hold themselves up and they don't fall and break a hip and then die a year later.
Yep.
Those are the things that happen as you get older. Is people fall, they break hips, and how many people have you heard of that broke a hip and died the next year? They
Yep.
didn't die of a broken hip, but that precipitated everything.
Yep. Yep.
And so it's important that you maintain your strength, your balance, and your abilities more so than being cardio fit
Yep.
for an older person.
And even, I mean, to your point too, strength training or resistance training has been, proven to help build bone density.
Absolutely.
So, when you're talking about getting older and, the fear of, breaking a hip or something, like that, then, resistance training or strength training is, your really go-to for keeping your bone strong.
Right.
Not
Absolutely.
not just your muscles. When we say strength, usually people just think muscular strength, but it's not just the muscles. It's all your whole tissues.
It's everything that's holding you up.
Yeah. There was actually just reading a research article. They're starting to understand even the disc between your vertebrae. For a long time, then how they thought about the material of the disc is they didn't really think of it as a structure that you could strengthen, but they're actually changing their understanding and view on the disc itself that is actually a structure that can get stronger with the right amount of loading. So just another example of tissues in your body, that you can make an impact on keeping strong.
That's true. Now, that's not to say that cardiovascular fitness and all that's not, it's important too.
Yeah,
But for the aging older individual, strength training should not be neglected.
yeah,
I'll put it that way. And
sure.
one of the things about Fit Body is we do our workouts are focused on some of them. Today's workout is a strength workout. It's there'll be some cardio in it, but it's mostly strength.
Okay.
Then we'll have a Metcon day where it's mostly cardio. There's going to be some strength in there, but it's not as much. You're going to really be taxing and sucking wind before it's over with.
Yeah,
And then there's a classic day where it's a kind of a blend between the two.
yeah.
And so you have those going on all the time, different days, strength day, Metcon day, classic day. And then you also have weeks that week is focused on strength. That week is focused on Metcon. That week
Mhm.
is focused on classic. So it's for all around fitness and maintaining that that critical aspect of strength in it. It hits the mark.
Yeah.
It hits the mark.
So one of the questions, what kind of age on a demographic would you say that you guys serve?
We serve our target demographic
Okay.
is Mrs. Jones,
Okay.
32 to 60.
Okay.
Okay. But that's not to say that Mrs. Jones don't bring her husband in because he needs it too. So
Yeah.
we target females in our marketing, but we also have quite a few men in here too.
Okay. But there's no age limitation.
No,
Okay.
no age limitation. It's more of a fitness limitation.
Okay.
Now we are, I will say this, we are starting a new program in August. Oh, not August, September, in September, called Fit Body Forever, which is more, it's a little bit longer workout. It's 45 minutes in length. It's designed for retirees, people
Okay.
over 65. And the difference in that one versus the Fit Body regular workout is that one focuses on strength.
Okay.
That is the main focus of that one. And as I said earlier, we're closed in the midday. That will allow us to offer sessions during the midday because retirees don't have to go to work.
Yeah. They don't want to be there at 5:30 in the morning.
No, they don't want to be there at five. They're done with that.
That's right. Well, awesome. Well, yeah, thanks for sharing, Don. I like to finish with a few questions here at the end of all my episodes. The first question is, if you have one piece of advice for someone on staying healthy, what would it be?
You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be pay attention to your health, what you eat, and your fitness for the most part.
Yep.
Nobody's going to be perfect. Life doesn't work like that. There's going to be
Hmm.
things that's going to pull you away. You're going to be at a restaurant where there's nothing decent for you to eat, but you're still hungry. Don't worry about it. But for the most part, be cognizant of your health and your fitness and what you're putting in your body and what you're doing with your body.
Yep. That's a great one.
Even if it's wrong, at least you know
Yeah. Awareness is sometimes the first step, right?
it.
Being aware.
Absolutely.
If you're not aware, then you got to get aware. All right. And then I love to encourage people to go out and explore the things that we have around Knoxville. So the first one is, do you have a favorite restaurant around Knoxville that you would recommend?
Oh, yeah, but I can't think of the name of it. It's real expensive restaurant over there. I took my wife there on our anniversary a couple of years ago. It cost me almost $300 for the two of us. What the? I, I can't remember the name of it.
Oh,
It's
that's
a
right.
special occasion restaurant.
Okay. Well, I'll put it in the show notes. If you remember it later, I'll put it in the show notes.
Okay.
Okay. Now what about when you have some time, some free time to go explore outside? Where would you recommend doing something outside?
Oh man. I don't know because I don't explore much. If I'm not here, I live on Watts Bar Lake, so I'm either on the pontoon boat or the jet ski.
Okay, the lake's a good spot.
That's a great spot.
All right. So you
Or
like
or my motorcycle. I like riding in the mountains up here too.
okay. Well, those are two good things to go explore.
That's If you ask
Yep.
me where I like to go. I take my motorcycle, I go down to Cherry Hole Skyway and
Yep.
pick up 129, take the tail of the dragon back, and then come back up 70 and come back home.
Okay, nice, nice. All right. And then is there anything on a bucket list? Maybe it's something that you haven't done that you would love to go experience around Knoxville, Greater East Tennessee area um, for you, Don?
Man,
Hit you
boy,
with some.
you should have given me a heads up on these because
Sorry, I
I'm
usually
having to
do. I
think.
think I forgot. I usually do.
Oh man, but John, I can't think of anything at the
That's all
moment,
right.
man.
That's okay. If something comes to you, just let me know. I usually do and give my guest, but I forgot that. But you've done great, Don. Yeah, I appreciate you
Well,
being.
part of my problem, John Mark, is that when I moved here,
Yeah.
I worked in Dayton,
Okay.
which is way far away from here,
That is a far
and
away.
I live in 10 Mile. So I opened in Farragut because that's where the demographic said I needed to open.
Okay.
And so I didn't prior to me establishing Fit Body Boot Camp,
You
I
weren't in
didn't spend
town.
I wasn't in town that much.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you maybe know some good hole in the wall places out there then, right?
Oh, I do in 10 Mile.
10 Mile. Um, all right. Well,
Pilkey's General Store has the best hamburgers you've ever ate.
okay, there you go. You heard it from Don, guys. Go out to Pilkey's.
Highway 304.
All right. Well, there's your restaurant, Pilkey's. That's a new one for me that I'll have to go try. Um,
Oh, it's not a restaurant, it's a
it's a
convenience
general
store,
store. Okay.
but they got great hamburgers.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, thanks so much for coming out on the show, Don. I appreciate you sharing just your health journey, and even inspiring those, who, just your own personal story of, retiring and then deciding that you wanted to continue, pursuing, a dream of yours, if you will, of doing something fitness and health related. And
Yes.
I think that's real motivating, inspiring to those that age is not a limit, right? That
It's just it's that's in your
just a
head, man.
number. It's
That's
just a
in your
number,
head.
right? And yeah, it's an encouragement to us all. So, thank you for sharing. Yeah, guys, if you're listening to this and you want to give Fit Body Boot Camp a try, Don's given some great options to do that as far as a 1 week free trial. So I encourage you, if you need a little help, need a little encouragement, need a little support, looking to get part of the community, make that first step, give Don a call, and yeah, go visit their studio over there in Farragut. So, but yeah, thanks again, Don, for coming out on the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for asking me and thanks for having me. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah, no problem. All right, guys, we'll be signing off and stay healthy, Knoxville.